If you thought Flintlock was bad, or even Concord when it comes to wokeness, buckle up, because this game, Dustborn, that is coming out August 20th, 2024, is going to blow the wokeness out of the water. What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Smash JT, and shout out to Larry Bundy Jr. for giving me the heads up on this extremely insanely woke game. And I watched the trailer for it, and I was like, you've gotta be kidding me.
So don't forget to pack your baseball bat. Girl power!
This has got to be like a governmental sponsored tax rebate project, because there's no way that the developers of this game, the same developers behind Dreamfall, The Longest Journey, and the Dreamfall series, are making a woke garbage heap of trash pile being shoved in everyone's faces, and we're just supposed to accept it and buy it, because if not, we're bigots? Hit that subscribe, give me a like, and check out SmashJT.com for the full article breaking down Dustborn, the wokest game I think I've ever seen. And just to give you a taste of it, here's some of the trailer.
In a world divided by disinformation, where danger lurks around every turn, a motley crew of misfits embark on a fateful road trip to discover their true power.
The video game industry is no stranger to controversy, especially when it comes to woke games, and Dustborn is no different. Its upcoming release has sparked a whirlwind of discussions, criticisms, and quite strong opinions across the board when looking at forums talking about this game. Despite currently Sweet Baby Inc. not updating their website in what feels like 2 years ever since it got brought to light that they were the downfall of modern society, they are not, as far as I can tell, working with this company on this game. At least publicly. But think about this for a second. Based off of how their image has destroyed every game they've worked on, what publisher and developer would want to be publicly associated with this company if they were working with them? It stands to reason that behind the scenes, most likely, they would be keeping this a secret. I can't find any direct evidence of Sweet Baby Inc. or any consultancy groups that have worked with them on this project, but I can't help but watch this and think that it's a result of them. Hide it all they want. At this point, the woke meter is so off the charts that to me, it's beyond obvious. Taking a look at the Dustborn reveal trailer on PlayStation's official YouTube channel, the like to dislike ratio is not great, to put it nicely. With a score of 1,000 likes compared to 7.6 thousand dislikes, this game is destined to be brutally destroyed by gamers. But what is Dustborn? Like, what is even the purpose of this game? Because when I look at it, it looks like one of those Telltale series games with some combat involved with it. And on the surface, as far as the graphics and action are concerned, sure, it's not the greatest looking game in the world, but I can look past that if the game is enjoyable enough. But unfortunately, that's where it all falls apart. It's a narrative story steeped in progressive ideologies, aimed at reflecting a world where social justice, equity, and diversity are at the forefront. A hysterical premise that only gets worse the deeper you dive into it. And checking the forums on NeoGAF, ResetEra, and Reddit, the vast majority of people are expressing serious skepticism, frustrations, and honestly, outright disdain. Gamers are, for lack of a better word, sick of this shit. One of the most prominent themes in the criticism is the perception of the game creators that are so out of touch with reality. The developers live in some sort of ultra-progressive bubble, creating a world that mirrors their own ideological environments, rather than the diverse and often contradictory realities that most people are facing. They are living in a world where they are stereotyping what they think the challenges are that people are facing, when ironically, all they're doing is stereotyping what people think the stereotypes are. Dustborn is a prime example of how left-leaning ideologies have taken over the cultural landscape, leaving little room for alternative viewpoints. It's led to an imbalance of conservative or even moderate perspectives being marginalized or simply outright dismissed by developers making games like this. The idea that the right had ceded control over cultural and media narratives is a sentiment echoed by many who feel like this game is yet another product of one-sided cultural battlegrounds. And I feel like Vera Dark put it great on Twitter when she said, "The new ultra cringe and woke game on the block, Dustborn, a title where America is filled with disinformation and you use words as weapons, is inspired by political events that started in 2016 with a clown face." And that's what this game bases its premise upon. Words are used as weapons and have the power to change minds. And this is used politically to push the agenda within the game.
Words have power. They can give you strength. Ready for this? Stand still. Words can bring people together and tear them apart. But if words hold so much power, he has no respect for you.
She's right.
The question is, what do you have to say?
It kind of feels like the developers of the game are sending some sort of subliminal message to the gamers like, hey, learn how to use words to fight against people and get your ideologies pushed across to them, which is exactly what gamers have been rejecting since gaming became a thing ever. The craziest part about all of this is how the developers of Dustborn aren't even shying away from this. Like, the propaganda that they're shoving right in your face is what they want you to know about, and they still want to push that. The idea behind Dustborn's setting and characters was also influenced by a series of political events that deeply affected us all, beginning in the summer of 2016 and continuing until, well, today. As game developers, we wanted to tell a story that felt relevant and thematically timely, with a cast of characters that could more accurately represent our player base and the setting, and to hopefully have some positive impact on the world, in addition to being an entertaining game. Oh, okay, so this is another game that's searching for that ever elusive modern audience. Mokus said, "Ugly women out of the gate in the trailer. I bought everything so far from Quantic Dream, and I love the games, despite many saying how bad they are, but I will be skipping this woke trash." Stewie Duck said, "How to say Sweet Baby Inc. made this game without saying Sweet Baby Inc. made this game. Jesus Christ, even after all the diversity and wokeness, the game looks like hot shit. These people with these personalities just aren't talented." And honestly, that's kind of what it feels like. Doing more research on these westernized developers and how they can't make a girl look beautiful is, yes, steeped in the reality that they want women to look ugly because they want them to look like them, but also the second part to that a lot of people don't talk about, that many of these developers, these DEI hires, aren't talented enough to develop a game with a beautiful girl in it. It's too hard for them. So they default to making the girl look ugly because that's easier to do. I can't help but think that Sweet Baby Inc. had something to do with this game, or at least some sort of similar narrative consulting company that would come in and say, hey, let's make a game as woke as possible. Obviously not using that language, but trying to change the game and the perception of gamers subtly. And this one, not very subtle whatsoever. It's kind of hitting you over the head with a bat saying, hey, you're going to be woke. I'm going to beat you down with it if you play this game. Otherwise, you're a bigot, because only bigots avoid these kind of games, and you don't want to be a bigot, do you? No! Buy our game, play it, and learn how words have magical powers to make people think and change their perceptions of reality, so all of us can be Marxists at the end of the day, because communism is great. I'll be honest though, one of the most fascinating things to come out of this entire situation is wondering just how bad it's going to flop. We see Flintlock with the Steam numbers getting nowhere close to even 500 or 600 players at once playing it worldwide. And then you see a game like Concord that goes to a free-to-play beta and can't even crack 3,000 players. And then you look at a game like this and you're like, holy crap, if those games can't even get people coming into them, how many people are going to go out of their way and pay to play this woke garbage? Honestly, looking at it for what it is and knowing what I know about it, and based off of what's transpired with the other games before it, I don't see this game getting anywhere close to even 500 players, and that in itself is going to be such an epic fail that the studio is not only going to be reeling from it, but potentially closing down because of it. I guess at least that's what I'm getting out of all of this. And honestly, gamers aren't having it. They never have, and they never will. As much as this crap gets pushed out in front of people's faces, it's never going to be accepted by the gaming community at large. And it feels like, how many times are we going to teach you this lesson, old man, with these crap woke games that keep getting shoved down our throats what seems like every month, if not every week of the year. And honestly, gamers, as far as I've seen, including myself, have had it with this crap. I'm going to leave it there. If you guys want more information, check out smashjt.com for the full article talking about how Dustborn might be the wokest game I've ever seen in my life. If you guys appreciate what I'm doing, please consider hitting that join button. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, you stay smashing.
Home run! Smash!